How to apply for a marriage license in Arizona. Want to get hitched in Arizona? In general, the state is open and inviting to most couples regardless of residence, family relationships, or sexual orientation. In order to get married, the couple must apply for a marriage license. You'll need to take the proper identification to the proper location. You'll fill out several forms and pay your $76. Then you can walk away with your marriage license. If you want to get a covenant marriage license, you'll need to get counseling and acquire a notarized statement confirming that you completed counseling. A covenant marriage generally prohibits no-fault divorces, when neither spouse assumes blame for the divorce. Regardless of whether you choose to apply for a traditional or covenant marriage license, it is a fairly easy process. Method 1. Preparing to apply. 1. Know who can marry in Arizona. You can get married in Arizona, even if you are not a legal resident. So if you enjoy the beautiful vista views of Arizona, consider it as your wedding location. Age: 16 and 17-year-olds are allowed to marry provided they have a notarized consent form signed by their parents or legal guardians. If you are 16, you must also have a court order granting you permission to marry. Sexual orientation: as of October 17, 2014, same-sex marriages are sanctioned by the Arizona state government. Family relationships: immediate family are not able to marry in the state of Arizona, but first cousins are, provided that they are over 65 years old. If one spouse or both spouses are under the age requirement, then they need to get signed documentation from a superior court judge that states that one of them is unable to reproduce. 2. Decide whether or not to change your surname. If you would like to change your surname, you can actually legally change it on the marriage license application. Surnames do not automatically change after marriage, and either spouse can choose to keep their surname or change it. In most cases, you must either take the other person's surname, keep your own, or use both connected by a hyphen. 3. Locate the nearest marriage license office. Marriage licenses can be obtained from one of the regional court centers in Maricopa County, the clerk of court in downtown Phoenix, one of the justice court locations across the state, or at your local city hall. Since county and state office and court hours vary, it's best to call 602-506-3730 for information before visiting to apply for your marriage license. 4. Bring the appropriate documentation. Have your government-issued photo identification card to prove age, identity, and address. Bring a certified copy of your birth certificate as well, especially if you are younger than 30 years old. It is needed to verify your age. If you are divorced, it is not necessary to present a divorce decree, and a blood test is unnecessary. Method 2. Applying for your marriage license. 1. Fill out the application. You can find the application online and mail it in or turn it in at the location. Read the application carefully before filling it out and signing it. If you incorrectly fill out your application, it can be difficult to make alterations after it has been issued. Both spouses must be present to fill out and sign the application, if done in the designated office. You'll need to be able to fill out your own names, social security numbers, family addresses, the address at which you'll reside after getting married, and birth dates. 2. Pay a $76 Arizona marriage license fee. This can be paid by check, cash, money order, or credit card, with driver's license. No refunds are given on this fee. 3. Receive your marriage license. There is no waiting period. You can get your license right after you submit your paperwork, and the license is good for 1 year's time. This means that you need to actually have a wedding ceremony, either religious or civil, within the following year. Method 3. Applying for a covenant marriage license. 1. Determine if you want a covenant marriage license. Only 3 states in the United States offer this legally distinct form of marriage. The couple should agree to obtain pre-marital counseling. Proponents for covenant marriages argue that they create stronger, happier unions, while decreasing divorce rates. Opponents of covenant marriages argue that they are often forced upon their participants out of family obligation and reinforce gendered power structures. Despite its intent to decrease divorces, it is still fairly easy to get a divorce after obtaining a covenant marriage license. According to the state of Arizona, there are 8 different ways that a divorce can legally be granted in the case of a covenant marriage. These are adultery, felony, physical separation for 1 year, sexual abuse, drug-alcohol abuse, or both spouses simply agree. 2. Select a counselor. Generally, a clergyman or marriage counselor trained in premarital counseling is required. They should know the state's requirements for a covenant marriage. The counseling sessions must include discussions of the couple's dedication and the limited grounds for divorce if marriage problems occur. The counselor will also give you a brochure published by the state of Arizona and will be able to answer any questions you may have. 3. Get a notarized statement. This statement needs to affirm that the couple received ample counseling and thoroughly understand the nature of a covenant marriage, as well as the restricted nature of divorce. Both spouses should sign the document. The original counselor should also sign the document in front of a notary. You'll need to have 2 forms of identification for the notary process. 4. Apply for an Arizona covenant marriage license. After you've obtained your notarized statement, applying for a covenant marriage license is the exact same as applying for a traditional license. Fill out the paperwork. You can find the forms online and then you can submit them via mail or in person at a designated courthouse. Pay the $76 fee. This is the same fee as a traditional marriage license. It is possible to convert your marriage license to a covenant marriage license in Arizona. Your original license can be from any state. All the couple has to do is sign an affidavit and a declaration of intent to enter into a covenant marriage form at the marriage license office. Then they have to pay a fee of $26.50. 5. Receive your marriage license. Just like the traditional license, there is no waiting period and the license is good for 1 year. This means that you need to hold your wedding ceremony within the next year after acquiring your wedding license. If you get your license on January 1st, then you have until December 31st to have it signed by an officiant.